Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about this thing right here and this thing right here. Do we need those? Do you need that? Do you need that? Is that a requirement to be on your knife? How many knives do you have that have them on it? And that's what I'm going to be talking about in the video. This, of course, is a can opener. And that, of course, is a cap lifter. So that's the question. It's going to be a pretty short video, but I'm going to give my opinion on that and let you know why I'm even addressing that. So if you'd like to hear more about that, check out the video. Taking pictures of the geese. They're hungry. What?
The little ones. The little ones.
Yeah.
The little ones. The little ones.
Uh-huh.
Hey.
Hey, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Today, another fascinating discussion about, do we need these things? What are they? How long they've been around? And are they still relevant today? Do we still need to put these on knives? And could we put some better blades on here other than a cap lifter blade and a can opener blade? So that's what we're going to be talking about. And first I want to say hi to all my viewers. I hope you are having a fantastic, or let me put it this way, I hope you had a fantastic weekend, because I'm probably going to post this on Monday. I am producing it on Sunday though. So yeah, I'm not picking on Victorinox here. This goes for any knife that has a can opener, cap lifter, and actually I added this after I did the introduction, a corkscrew. Do we really need these stupid things on a knife? Have you ever opened a can with one of these? Out camping? On the job site? When you were floating on a raft in the middle of the ocean after your ship sank? You know, have you ever used one of these? What about these? Have you ever used this? I bet you use this more, the cap lifter, than you've ever used the can opener. I have used these can openers, by the way. So, yeah, do we really need them? What about a corkscrew, right? So the only time I use this corkscrew is at home once. Had a party and I didn't have a corkscrew and I had to pull out my Victorinox, not this one, but another Victorinox, and use a corkscrew in it. So it did come in handy in that particular situation. But so out of all these, the corkscrew is probably the oldest. The reason they're on knives is before the crown cap or the bottle cap was invented, they used corks, and that's how they sealed up their bottles. And so people use these not only for like wine, but which I'm sure it was used a lot for wine, especially among sportsmen, but also pill bottles and things like that. And that's why sometimes these things are really small and you kind of like, yeah, they didn't open a wine bottle with that. It's because they use them for pill bottles also and other types of bottles. So that came out pretty early. The next thing was the can opener. And cans came out in the late 1700s, around 1796, 1798. That the sealed can was invented by the Swedes, but it wasn't until about 1840 until a can opener actually came out. And so these have been around since around 1840. And then in the 1890s, you had the crown cap was invented, and that's what this is for, to pull a cap off. Now I still find myself on the road and pull into the convenience store and get a bottle that doesn't have a screw cap. It has a cap, but it doesn't have a screw cap. They're just pressed on like the old crown caps were back in the day. And I've needed a cap lifter, to open up my bottle. Sometimes beer bottles, are not screw off. So out of those three things, probably the cap lifter still has a relevance to us today. But I just seriously doubt that anybody uses these can openers for anything but to open boxes with. Um, Maybe some diehards out there, because in the what happened in the 70s, they came out with freeze dried food. So that's what campers take now, and that's what guys, hunters take with them, is these packets of freeze dried food. They're not as heavy as cans. They're easy to open. You put some hot water in there, and then you have food. And so, yeah, do we really need that anymore? So, I say yes. I'm always the contrarian. And the reason I say yes is, right now you don't need it. But if you go to your cabinet, probably half the food you have is in cans and the other half is frozen. And in a grid down type of situation, catastrophe, um, cans, you're going to need to get into a can. Now, you can open a can with a knife blade, right? I've done that before. You take your knife blade, you pound it down into the can, and then you just pry up, and you can cut the can open. But the problem with that is, it's not very good on your knife blades. So it can dull a knife pretty quick trying to open a can with a knife blade. And so I actually have some John Wayne's. Matter of fact, let me go see if I can't find one. All right, sorry about that. So this is a little contraption right here. It's a can opener. You can see you just work it with your fingers. And when I first went in the Marine Corps, they issued us these. We called them John Wayne's. I'm not really sure why we called them John Wayne's, but I put that on my dog tag chain, and I just carried it with me. And when you were out in the field and you pulled those old sea rats out, they had cans in them, and you just open up the cans, you pop it. They work really well, by the way. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I kept buying these. I've got a few of them here and there. You can see I've got one out, and I continue to leave this on a chain that I carried when I was out in the woods. So it just dangles down by your chest, and it's out of the way. And these are, they don't weigh a few grams. They're not very heavy at all. And so that's a good option. But as I was saying, if we have a emergency where the power grid goes down and you can't refrigerate food, and there are massive interruptions in the food chain, you're not going to be able to get freeze dried food. You're not going to be able to get fresh food because there'll be no refrigeration in a power failure. And these things, you'll be able to find cans, and you'll need a way to open your cans, an efficient way that's not going to screw your knife up. In a situation like that, in a major catastrophe where you have that kind of interruption in vital services, you don't want to mess your knife up, because that's a primary tool. And so having something like this is essential. And that's why I say, yeah, you still need one. And if they go to take these off, I'd keep a couple of these old Victorinoxes so that you have those type of essential tools to open up bottles and open up cans. Um, That's my opinion. What do you think? I kind of, I've got my John Waynes. I've got a few, knives that have can openers on them. So if they took them off, I'd be good with it, right? I think maybe it's time that we lose these, but I definitely think you need to have a couple knives, utility knives or something that have can openers on them, and I would keep them just in case of an emergency where you might need them. The same reason that you keep um, something to purify your water with, because when services go down, you still got to drink water, so you need some type of system to purify your water. All right, that's my opinion. Not worth much, but it's my opinion. What do you think? Go ahead. Thanks, guys. Hope you have a great week, and thanks for supporting the channel.